where character matters. Character is everything. When you look into a person, whatever we see, character is something that is very important in each and every one. Look at character, you will find a person. There's a quote which says that you lose wealth, nothing is lost. But you lose character, everything is lost.
Yes.
Yeah. Look into Paul's life. Paul, one of the finest guy. When you study the Bible, you see Paul is one person that you will find one of the most smartest person. When you read Philippians chapter 2, you understand the pain of Paul. You see that Paul is in prison. He sits like this. And he's crying. If you see Philippians chapter 2, it's a poetic way, and it says in verses 8, and the verses reads like this. And being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on the cross. Look into Paul's life. Deep pain. A person, when he is in prison, only when a person goes to the prison, you'll understand how much of emotional struggles that he has. And when he is talking there, and when he is writing down the pain that comes, but he still knows this pain is just little compared to the joy he's going to get in heaven. And I want to just give 3 points what matters to character. First one, Jesus found in the appearance of man. He came to us, and He was there when we needed the most. And He was the person that found us. We did not find Him. He came to us and He found us. And when we look into our lives, we are just people so much worthless, so much wretched that we are. But He came into our life and He gave us peace. And the second thing of character I want to say is, He humbled. That Jesus humbled. And we look into our lives, we need to understand. Humility is very important in our lives. Socrates always says this. The more you know, you come to a point where you know very less. Humbleness is very important in our character. And the more humble you are, the more you learn. And look at Paul's life. Paul, being one of the finest person, being a Pharisee, being a Roman, he still humbled himself and was into the life. And he said, Jesus is all that I want. He was ready to risk his life. He was ready to risk his life, anything, for the sake of the gospel. And the last I want to say is, even to the point of death, he was obedient. If you read Romans chapter 5, you come to a point that obedience, one person's lack of obedience, and we are at this state today. Because of one person's obedience, we see where we are today. That we have a personal encounter with God. A relationship. A father and a son, when they have not spoken for 20 years, but when they see after 20 years, when they want to see face to face, and they want to really talk to that person, you will imagine the point how much emotions would come down. If you look into this passage, this is a very poetic way of his saying, I don't have a chalk, but when Paul says, was obedient to the point of death, even on the cross, understand that Paul was a person, he was a Jewish scholar. In Deuteronomy 21 says that, cursed is the man who is hung on a tree. He understood, Jesus understood that if I have to sacrifice, if I have to go to that cross, if I have to go to that cross for the sake of my people, I will do that. That is what Jesus did for us. And it is worth living, my dear friends. It's worth living a life for Jesus. When the world philosophy tells us Christianity, I don't believe it. 23% today of millennials don't believe there is no religion. But I'm telling you, if you follow Christ, I believe everyone follows Christ. Keep pursuing following Christ. When you follow Christ, there's a great peace in your life. And that peace, even if you give $1 million, is not worth, because the peace that God gives is enough in our lives. And every peace that God gives in our lives is worthy. And one day when He comes up to us and He says, well done, you are my servant. Well done, you are my friend. Well done, you are my son. Well done, you are my daughter. That is the greatest gift that anyone can receive in this world. Amen.
Amen.